All right, we are doing this. Welcome to yet another episode of Unfiltered Immigration, probably the most important episode yet. And it wouldn't be exaggeration if I say that this plan or this video, it's like almost 1.5 years in making, right? Been working on this or contemplating on this plan for a very long time, and I'm excited to share it with you guys today. I hope you guys are excited as well. So, without further ado, let's just get started. So, uh, just to give you guys an overview in today's plan or in today's episodes, what I'm gonna share is this major five things: that what is the issue, and who am I or who are we, people who are stuck in this issue because of this issue, right? And if you have been following me for a while, you probably know about this top two, many of the things I'm going to share, but I'm still going to share it because I'm going to share this plan with a lot of people who are not active yet, who are not like actively advocating for yet. And my hope is that you guys also share this plan with a lot of people who are not actively advocating for this solution for this issue, right? So those will be the first two things. But then the third thing is that why the issue is not resolved yet. I have observed a lot of things, and I'm going to share it, that what I have observed for traveling to all the 50 states and meeting a lot of people, that why the issue is not resolved yet. And then I'll talk about the plan. What is the plan? How we can uh, 10x our or 10x or 100x our efforts and make it very effective, and how we can bring a solution to the issue, how we can end this discrimination, and how we gonna execute this plan. So those will be the five major things I'm gonna cover. If you have questions on this plan, lot of the questions, if you post it in the comments, I'm not going to answer it today, because most of the question I might cover it, or even if I don't cover it, I'm going to do it Q&A session on this plan, so I don't interrupt the flow of this presentation. So probably if you have questions, feel free to leave it in the comments in the actual video, or like I'll also post it on the X to receive the questions on this plan, right? So, and if you feel any kind of interruption, like if you cannot hear me or anything, leave it in the comments. Thanks, Gaurav. Thanks for your comment. All right, this is, I always forget to tell people. So this is just like, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe it. On this channel, I share a lot of the things related to the advocacy, right? So if you haven't subscribed, that's the easiest way to support this work, is by subscribing to this channel, because that helps to bring new people to the advocacy, because then more subscriber means like YouTube will start recommending this kind of videos, this kind of content to the people who are not already part of this advocacy, right? So if you haven't, please subscribe. uh, all right, let's talk about what is the issue. What is the issue we are trying to solve? So just to get started, uh, I'm gonna share it, that how United States issues green cards in general, right? And I was trying to obtain the more recent data. The average I'm sharing on the screen is from 2013 to 17. But if you know that the USCIS don't publish this data every year, so if you want to get the latest data on how many green cards USCIS issued during the fiscal year 2023, we don't have the data, right? So we're gonna go with the old data, which is kind of has changed, but it's still helpful to understand that what the issue is, right? So out of all the green cards or permanent residency USA issues uh, every year, the majority of, like, if you see that 45% of the green cards goes to immediate relatives, and this number can change, uh, increase or decrease, right? Because the immediate relatives quota, they don't have a quota. So there is no numerical limit, annual numerical limit on this quota. So what that means, that let's say 10 million people this year, American citizens, decide that they're going to marry foreigners, then American citizens marries 10 million people, so they're gonna issue 10 million green cards, right? So that is, it depends on how many people, or also like if the immediate relatives, like United States citizen or their kids, there is no quota. So when there is no quota, then there is no country cap, right? So this number, if you look at for 2024 or 2023, it might be increased or decreased. Same with the humanitarian, right? The refugees, asylum, that doesn't have quota. So if you see that right now it is showing 13%, but if you look at the past couple of years, that number might be very, very high. Family sponsored, they have quota, annual quota, and country cap as well. But then there is this small percentage, which is 4%, is diversity, that has quota of 55,000. That is one of the craziest category, where United States just do the lottery and gives 55,000 green cards annually to foreigners, uh, just based on the lottery, right? So that's a small percentage, but this 3%, if you look at it, that's like some exceptional category wherein it's a crime involved on some kind of things, right? But the one which we are talking about, which is very different than all the category I have talked about, which is employment based. Right now, you see that that is 14%. But if you look at the number from 2023, I bet it's less than 10% of the US immigration, which is employment based immigration or skill based immigration. And why this category is different than all the other category is that all the other category of the immigration is that US is trying to do good, right? That one thing US believes is that families should stay together. So that's why they try to issue the green cards of the immediate relatives and sometimes extended family as well. Like refugee, United States is a developed country, and that's why they want to help the people less fortunate, right? So all the other categories, if you think about it, majoritarily it is there because United States wants to do good. But the employment-based category, it's different. It's the reason why that category is there is because United States didn't want it to live left behind in a lot of the things, like the skills which United States has shortage of in the STEM field, in the healthcare, in the tech. They had the skill shortage, and that category is born out of the need of the United States, that uh, this we need to get these people here, otherwise Americans won't have the healthcare they need, or they will be stay behind in all this technology, and that's not good for the country, for the security and all that kind of things, right? So that is how this category is different. So then you are thinking that, okay, if we are doing this, if United States is doing this, that they are bringing people over to meet the skill shortage, right? Then they probably would be getting the best of the best people. But that's not the case, because in this employment based category, the quota is 140,000 fixed annually. So the annual quota on the employment based category is 140,000. The crazy thing is that no matter how skilled you are not exempt from this quota, which means that even if you win the Nobel Prize and United States wants to issue you a green card, it will still count towards this quota, which is not the case in the family based, right? That family based immediate relatives, they don't have any quota. So that's another thing. But also then there is this country cap, 7% country cap. So most probably no more than 9,800 green cards goes to one particular country. So while you are trying to meet the skill shortage, but you still don't want to get that skill from one particular country, so they are like, okay, we don't want more than 9,800 green cards. uh, uh, applicants from one particular country. Now, if you are hearing this for the first time, you might be thinking that, oh, Anuj, what's the problem with that, right? So here is the problem with that, and I'm trying to explain this in terms of, let's say, talk about coffee. So United States, this is from the US government's website, right? That the United States imports the majority of its coffee by value from Colombia and Brazil. There is no country cap on that. They don't mind getting the most of the things from one particular country as long as they are getting the best of the best. So United States doesn't produce enough coffee, so they import the best of the best coffee from selected two countries. And then there are other countries as well, but majoritarily it imports from two countries. So there is no country cap on coffee imports, but let's say if there is, like let's say there is a country cap on the coffee, it imports 7%, just like as in the employment-based category, right? Then what happens that let's assume that United States needs 100 kilogram of coffee every year. That's just for an example to simplify. So now there is a 7% cap on that. So what happens that United States can import 7 kilogram of coffee from Colombia, 7 kilogram of coffee from Brazil, no more than that. But then they have to go to the rest of the countries. There are major few countries: Vietnam, Guatemala, Indonesia, Honduras. Let's say 6 countries, but let's assume that there are 10 countries which produces good coffee. So then 7%. So they still got only 70 kilogram of coffee. But then they still have to get the coffee, rest of the coffee from the other country, even they produce city coffee. And if the law was like that, I researched that there are some countries by the chat GPT where the coffee doesn't grow. Like let's say that Iceland, they don't have the climate and lack of suitable arable land where they can produce coffee. But then they will be like, okay, but we still want to send our coffee to the United States because there is this country cap, and why we should be left out, even though our coffee is shitty. We want to export it to the United States and sell it at the good price, you know. So the United States starts getting the shitty coffee. They are not getting the best of the best, and it impacts all the area of their life because, like, let's say people, a lot of people's productivity depends on coffee. So they will be drinking a shitty coffee. Their mood would be good, won't be good. They won't be that productive. Their productivity goes down, and it hurts in the all the areas, right? So this is very simple to understand, but it's still there in the employment based category that even though, like, similar to coffee, not all the country produces the STEM workers which United States has shortage of equally, because they don't have that climate, right? Just to give you an example, that a lot of the people in the Europe, they want to pursue this field in the like fashion industry and a lot of the other industries, if you look about that, right? So not all the country produces this talent which wants to leave everything behind, their family, their friends, leave everything behind and start their new life in a foreign country. So it's not every country produces the talent equally who wants to move to the United States. But still there is this country cap where United States cannot get more than 9800 applicants from one particular country. So it's a major issue, and because of this kind of issue, there are a lot of people who are not qualified, but they are qualifying based on their country of birth. So just like getting a city coffee, we are getting shitty people, and it's like not qualified people. And sometimes they are even coming from a country where it's like United States has this country declared as a state sponsored terrorist country, and even from those countries they are able to qualify and jump this line just because this crazy law is there that the United States, even skill based immigration, they prioritize based on the country of birth. So it's a serious issue, and it's a unfair thing to a lot of people I'm going to talk about that it's very unfair. So then you might be asking, Anuj, then how United States is surviving if this thing is that they are not able to get 98 more than 9800% applicants each year from one particular country. So then how it's surviving? So here is the thing. So what we were talking about is talking about green cards, but United States has other non-immigrant programs as well. Talking about, let's say, student visa. So student visa, there is a no annual quota, which means that they don't have country cap. So what happens that United States, the students, they need to do the research to meet their student visa needs. They are able to get the best of the best students regardless of where they are coming from. So let's say that United States, if they want to give 1 million student visa each year, they and give all that visa to one particular country, there is no objection, right? So that's why universities are silent, because they are getting the best of the best students. And it's not students, but they are workers as well, because as soon as they finish their master's or bachelor program, and if they are from STEM field, and majority of the United States visa, student visa they issue are in the STEM field, you get 3 year OPT, right? So then they have this uh, uh, supply of workers, foreign workers, at least for 3 years, that they can issue more student visa, and then they meet some of the labor needs that way. But university is not complaining, because they got the best of the best students, right, regardless of where they are coming from. Then there is the next phase, which is like a lot of the people, they get the work visa, which means that a lot of the students who are here, or even from some from foreign, there is an annual quota of 85,000, but there is still no country cap on that. So what it means that the employers like hospitals and big corporations, they are able to get the best of the best workers regardless of where they are coming from. So this all the 85,000 uh, work visa can go to one particular country. They don't have any issue. And what is crazy that even the immigration petition to get the first step or the major step to get the green card, even immigration petition, there is no annual quota on that. And so which means that there is no country cap. So what happens that for this first three step is that United States got the best of the best students, best of the best workers, and now they approved their immigration petition. They are not going to give them green card, but they passed a bill, which means that the work visa was supposed to be a temporary visa. They made it permanent visa, which means that if your immigration petition is approved, and if you are from this one of this country, we're not going to give you the green card, but we're going to continue renewing your work visa unlimited time, which comes with a lot of restrictions. Someone, it's okay to live on that visa for limited time, but it's not it's impossible to live on that visa permanently. But that's what they did. So now a lot of the things United States are able to achieve, it's because of this first three category, that there is no country cap on student visa, and there is no country cap on work visa. So they got the best of the best students, researchers, and they got the best of the best workers regardless of where they are coming from, and they are able to keep them on this temporary visa indefinitely without giving them all the rights. Meanwhile, the people who are less qualified, they are able to get the they are able to jump the line and get this green card, and they are able to get the voting rights, and they can support this kind of discriminatory policies. Meanwhile, these are some of the smartest US educated people. They have to stay on this work visa forever. So it's United States, it's very dangerous for them, but it's also very unfair for the people who came here based on the merit, but now their growth and their freedom is restricted just based on where they are born. So this kind of system has become highly it's like highly exploitatory system, right? And this was not sure designed intentionally or unintentionally, but this is something they have stumbled upon, and that's why there is very less motivation to solve this issue, because of this kind of system is going on. but this issue is becoming more and more serious, right? So why, if this is not a new issue, but this issue is becoming worse and worse every day. So this issue today is more worse than ever before, and it will be more worse tomorrow, right? So talking about how bad it is. So this is the visa bulletin which USCIS, not USCIS, the State Department publishes every month. And if you want to look at that, how bad the situation is that someone from India, let's say that they qualified for the Einstein visa, which is like the first visa, their immigration petition got approved in February 8th February 2022 or anything after that. So let's say their immigration petition got approved in March 2022. They need to wait longer for than someone whose immigration petition got approved in the third category in the February 2023. And that category, it's a lot of unskilled categories there as well, that even you don't need the bachelor degree for that category. Compared to that, someone who is like doing important research and they are like publishing all these papers or doing, they are doctors, they need to wait more than that. And not just only that, if you go to the fifth unreserved category, that's like you have to invest $1 million. So someone whose immigration petition got approved in the fifth category from India, even though invested $1 million, and even though they have created more than 10 jobs for the Americans, that's the requirement. They still need to wait longer. But if you look at the EB2 category, right, second category, the India is stuck in June 2012, which is barely moving. So these are the people who are already in the United States, but they are stuck in this never-ending backlog because of their country of birth. Meanwhile, someone with a much more less education, qualification, maybe they are not even in the United States, they are able to jump the line, right? So that's something very unfair and very dangerous for America, and it's a bottleneck for the growth of the United States, right? So then if you are just stumbling upon this channel for the first time, then who am I and who are the people who are stuck in this backlog, right? That we talked about, that they are able to renew their visa unlimited time. Then like a lot of the time people ask me that then what's the issue? So just telling about a little bit of myself, but also the people who are stuck in the backlog, is that I came to United States in 2009 for my master's based on the merit, right? I came here based on the merit, and then I finished my education, I got the job, I got my H-1B, and I got my immigration petition approved based on the merit. But now I'm stuck in this backlog. I would have been permanent resident if I was born in any other country other than India, because India is the one country, just like some countries produces more coffee, India produces more STEM skilled workers, which United States has shortage of. So India has a huge line in this backlog. So because of my country of birth, I am not a permanent resident, and there are like around million people who are stuck in this backlog just based on the country of birth, who came here based on the merit, but now they don't have path to permanent residency just based on their country of birth. So last year, I thought that something needs to be done regarding this issue, because a lot of the Americans who can actually vote, they don't know about this issue, right? So I thought about doing something about this, right? So I decided to travel to all the 50 states of the United States to spread the awareness on this issue. And at that time, when I walked out to on my campaign, I started this campaign, I didn't thought that I was going to solve it, right? That was not my intention. I was like, there is something needs to be done, and I'm going to do what I can. And I came up with this idea that I'm going to travel to all the 50 states, to the United States to spread the awareness. My intention was not to solve it, but also at the back of my mind, that if I'm going to all the 50 states, there are people who are suffering in all the 50 states. If they join me, uh, then that will help to bring a lot of attention on this issue, and it might get solved. But very few people joined. There were people who joined, but it's the number is very less. I guess the total number of people who joined me in this protest is less than 50, and I went to all the 50 states. So gonna talk about why that happened, why not a lot of people joined, but what other reason why the we are not able to reach the solution yet. But that's my story. I'm single, but there are a lot of people in this backlog who came to the United States based on the married, but when they came here they were either married, and some of them also had the kids who were born in India. Now what happened is that when the kids reach age 21, they cannot no longer stay on their parents dependent visa, and that's what is happening because the parents are stuck in this never ending backlog just based on their country of birth, even though they met all the requirements. Now the kids has to suffer because now kids has to start their own journey when they turn 21. So there are like million people who are stuck in this. Some has kids, they has to suffer, but also these are like highly talented folks which are restricted by their visa status because they want to do a lot of things. Sometimes they want to start a business which they can't do because the visa they are on doesn't allow that. They don't have that lot of freedom. But sometimes they have to miss out on important family events that they want to travel to see their family for family functions, or sometimes for family emergency. They cannot travel if their visa is not renewed. They have to keep renewing their visa every 3 years, even though their immigration petition is approved. So there is like a lot of hardship they have to go for no reason, right? Their immigration petition is approved. They have been here for many years, but still they have to continue going with this process. So that's about people who are stuck in this backlog. So there are like million people who are suffering for this. So now let's talk about why the issue is not resolved yet, right? So I traveled to the 50 states, met a lot of people from the backlog. Sometimes some people they didn't came to the protest, but we hanged out after the event for a lunch or dinner or something. But some people I met a lot of Americans when I traveled to different states and talked with a lot of different people. Also been observing or following this issue for a long time now. So here are some of the things I observed that why this issue is not solved yet. Uh, so the first reason is the lack of awareness among students, workers, people stuck in backlog, and Americans who are indirectly impacted and can vote. Major reason. So lack of awareness. Which people are not aware? The people, students who are coming to the United States, they don't know that they're gonna be discriminated or restricted based on their country of birth. When I came, I didn't know. Most of the people are not aware before they are coming. They think that they are going to this the most developed country, which believes in human rights and all that. They have no idea that they will be discriminated or they will be restricted. Their freedom will be restricted. They won't be able to do a lot of things. They won't be able to utilize their skills at the full potential. They have no idea. The workers who are coming, they have no idea. Same like people who are coming on, so they don't have this awareness. And a lot of the people stuck in the backlog, they don't are aware that this is wrong as well, right? So I the way this is designed, as it's in the last stage, and it's like people say that, oh, it's like every country gets 7%, so how it's discriminated, and that kind of conversation I regularly have with the people who are stuck in the backlog, right? So even people who are stuck in the backlog, they have no idea that it's something wrong. So lack of awareness, but then Americans who are indirectly impacted, they are not aware about that as well. Majority of the Americans don't know about this. They think that okay, there is some kind of country cap, but they don't know that how they are impacted, right? So let's say that a doctor is treating them, that doctor could have been someone who qualified based on the country of birth rather than skills. Or like, these are very high demanding jobs in the tech field. We have recently seen an event where entire lot of the Microsoft system went down because of that kind of mistake, right? So when we are recruiting people based on their country of birth, the entire country gets affected indirectly. Just like when we get a shitty coffee, the entire country gets affected. This is like 100 times more. Americans are getting affected, the security is getting compromised, the quality of services they are receiving, it's not as good as it should have been if it is like purely based on the skills. So they are not aware about that, and they are the ones who can vote. So if they are not aware about that, then there is a less pressure on the people who are policymakers, right? So this is the one of the major reason I have come across that lack of awareness is very big. Then lack of hope. Now there is like very selected people who are know about this, that there is something wrong which needs to be fixed, but then they don't have the hope, for whatever reason, many reasons. Sometimes they think that okay, this is has been going on for a while because of the past failure or whatever reason. They think a lot of the people who are benefiting because of this discrimination, uh, they are too powerful. So for whatever reason, they don't have a hope, and because they don't have a hope, they don't do anything about it. So that's another reason the issue is not solved yet. The third reason is that lack of skills and knowledge, right? That a lot of the people who are active, and they are like very skillful people in their own field, right? They are amazing. Sometimes they are like doctors, they are doing heart transplant, or they are like working in AI field. So in that field, they are rock stars. But when it comes to the actual skills, when it comes to advocacy, we are immature advocates, because we grow up in another country. It's like we entire life we were prepared to play cricket, but now we have to play American football. So that's the thing, that we didn't grow up with this kind of system, and now we are like have a demanding job. So we need to figure it out, but we are still immature, right? When it comes to how the bills are passed, or how bills are introduced, or how advocacy is done. So there is a lack of those skills, and then there is a lack of knowledge, right? uh, and all these reasons I'm talking about, not all of the reasons apply to you, but maybe one or two reasons you can like think that okay, yeah, this is the reason why I am not able to advocate fully as I should, right? So fourth reason is that fear of repercussion, right? So a lot of the people who knows about that, they have the skills, but then there is this fear of like, let's say that if I start advocating openly, then there might be negative consequences of that. And that's very fair sometimes, because a lot of the people who are suffering because of that, they are on this temporary visa. So United States attracts best of the best workers and students from all over the world, but then there is this fear that it can all be taken away from them. So that kind of fear stops them from taking actions openly, or taking action consistently as much as they should, because of they feel that okay, if I take actions, my next visa renewal might be not come that easily, or a lot of this reason, right? So that's another reason of fear of repercussion. uh, this is in the bold. This is one of the major one. The lack of time is very important, because all the people uh, suffering because of that, they have very demanding job, but most of them are family people as well, because they have family, they sometimes have spouse, they have kids. Also they are taking care of their parents many times or their in-laws. So people has very limited time, and that's one of the thing I notice is that sometimes whenever I was like going to travel to, let's say, Georgia, people will say that, hey, when you come to Georgia, I'm going to join you. But then what happens is that whenever I'm going to that particular state, they have something going on, or their kid is sick on that day. So something happens where they are not able to commit the time needed. And that happens with me as well, is that in the past 3 weeks, like not the last week, but before 3 weeks, I was not very active because I didn't have that time. So we lack this time to consistently advocate, and that's the most important reason, right? What happened also that there has been some advocacy, but we have been working with someone else's blueprint, right? So what happened is that we were like new to this country or advocacy, and then we took that, oh, how things are done, and then we took on this blueprint that, okay, let's just find a lobbyist to introduce the bill to the Congress, and then ask people to call or go and meet the member of the Congress. So that's someone else blueprint we took on because we didn't had, and which is fine. But the issue we, or like the things we failed, is to analyze that what are our strengths and what are our weaknesses, right? These are our weaknesses I'm talking about. We didn't account it for all these weaknesses when it comes to how we want to approach it. So that's one of the major issue, that working with someone else's blueprint, right? And then what I observed is that we are asking more than most people are capable to do or commit. So just to give you an example, that newly arrived folks, like let's say, take their example, someone who just came here on a student visa, or someone who just came here on work visa. And I have met this kind of people while I was traveling to all the 50 states. And when I talk to them, they are like, they don't have the skills, like, because they have never called the member of the Congress's office. It's they are busy, but don't have a skills that, okay, I just came to the country and I'm just gonna call someone and ask them to change a federal law. It's something, most of majority of the people, unless they have lived here for a long time, it's we are asking them for a lot. We can desire that they do, but it's something way beyond they are capable to do, right? Majority of the people, newly arrived folks, they cannot do that. Or like, let's say, one another people thinks that, okay, some people has gone through and they already received the green card, why they are not advocating for us? And another thing, it's like the people, give you an analogy, is that the people who don't have a job right now, they are not looking for a job. But then we are saying that the people who already has the job, they should continue looking for the job, right? So that's what is happening, that the people who already received the green card, they want to help, but we are asking more than they can commit, or they have time to, or they should care about, right? That we are asking that hey, become consistently advocate, like start calling the member of the Congress, or like go and meet the member of the Congress. So we are asking more than people can commit, and they want to support us, but we don't have a system in place where they can support easily. So that, yeah, that's another reason. And the last one, maybe there are more, but these are the main one I found, is that no one is working full time to solve this issue. And I had talked with a few of my friends, and I casually asked them that what is the most important issue you can solve, if you can solve one issue in the country. And we haven't found the important any issue which is more important than this right now, because this is at the law level. Something at law level, it's there, but also it's like very dangerous. And even though this is like one of the most if not the most important issue. There is not a single person whose primary job is to work on solving this issue. If you know about this, leave it in the comments. Is there anyone whose primary job, not like we are doing advocacy on the side, the primary job is to work on solving this issue? There is no one, and that's insane. There are most of the issue in the world, if they are getting attention, because there is someone who is working full time to solve that issue. But as comes to our issue, no one is working full time to solve that issue, right? So, all right. So then finally the thing you have been waiting for. So what's the plan, Anuj? Right? We talked about our shortcomings. We talked about why the issue is not resolved. Uh, um, uh, but then what's the plan? How we can solve it? So before I start the plan, I'm gonna take a break for 2 minutes. I have been talking non-stoply. Stop. So give me 2 minutes. I will be right back in 2 minutes. Uh, be All right, I'm back. Let's see the comments. Grading well, I have heard the remove country capital base. Smaller steps. Okay. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Area 51. All right, thanks everyone for joining. So let's talk about what's the plan. Uh, uh, let's have the drum roll. All right, so the last one we talked about, that there is no one is working full time to solve this issue. So for our plan, we're going to start with the last thing we talked about: create an organization and hire 50 people to work full time, right? So we're going to hire 50 people. uh, this 50 people, their primary job will be to wake up on Monday morning and get to work to solve this issue, right? And they will bring different skills to the table, which I'm going to talk about. That what will this 50 people will be doing, right? But before I talk about what they will be doing, which is more important, then the question will be like, how are we gonna pay for that, right? So I wanted to talk about that last because that's less important. But then that would be the question hovering in everyone's mind. So let's just talk about that first. That how we gonna pay for this 50 people to work full time, right? So let's just do some math. So, like, let's say for one person we pay $10,000 a month, right? So this is the average number. Some people we will be paying more, some people we will be paying less, right? So, but let's just assume that one person's salary we are paying is $10,000 a month. That means that 50 persons we are paying $500,000 a month. Now you will be like, no, that's insane. That's a lot of money. We are spending like $500,000 a month uh, uh, to solve this issue, which I agree. Yeah, that's a lot of money. But is it, if you think about it? And the Area 51 podcast cast is here, I guess. We recently did a live stream, and in that live stream, I asked questions to people that, let's say, on one hand, someone is offering you a green card, and the green card represents your freedom, right? That freedom to travel whenever you have to meet your family, freedom to do whatever you want to, the freedom to do like change your job easily, but also you don't have to go through all this stress. You don't have to lose your hair. You don't have to gray your hair. So one time hand someone is offering you a green card. On the other hand, you have an amount of money. What would be the amount of money, minimum money you will be willing to accept instead of green card? And I am the one, there were like 6 people. I'm the one who came up with the least amount of money. My amount was that, okay, if someone is offering me 500,000, I'll take 500,000 instead of green card. Anything less than that, I'm gonna pick green card. But the highest amount came. People are willing to give 19 million. Someone will take green card even if they are offering 90 million. If it is 20 million, they were gonna go with uh, uh, amount. So it's just the cost of one person's green card or freedom, and we have million people stuck in this green card backlog, right? So it's not a huge amount if you think like that. And the issue, how deep the issue is, we will be have to spend at least this much amount of money. Now, how we will get that money? So if the 50,000 people donates $10 a month, then we reach that goal. Now 50,000 is a very least minimum number of people, right? There are million people in the green card backlog. Only 10% of that people joins that to commits to donate $10 a month. Then we already have this amount to pay 50 people, 50 professionals who will be working full time on solving this issue. 10% of the people who are already stuck in this backlog. But we are not limited to that, because now we have this pool of people that they are on H1, they are not yet in the backlog, but they will be soon, and they will be able to join because this is something they can commit, right? If we want them to commit to these people, or like a students who just came to the United States, or even thinking about to come to the United States, who is in India or some other country, it's something even they can commit. $10 a month, that's like $120 a year. That's a one university's application fee. So we have this huge pool of people who it's everyone who can commit. So this is very small group of people if you think about that. But it's we are not limited to that, because then United States population is huge and everyone is getting impacted by this issue. And $10 a month is something they can commit. When I was traveling, I have met and talked with these Americans, and when I talked with them, they are like, okay, They think that this is insane, and they are like, how we can help? And if I ask them that become a lifelong advocate, that start picking up your phone and call your congressman every day, because phone call, just calling once doesn't happen if you have been doing some advocacy, right? So if we tell American that, hey, start doing this advocacy and uh, go meet your congressman, we are asking them a lot to do. But if we say that, okay, uh, $10 a month that can help you, you can make a significant difference. You can mobilize 50 people, 50 professionals to work on solving this issue. Then this is something they can do. Even like someone, let's say, not directly impacted, they are from a third country, like let's say Scotland, but if they want to support, they can, because this is very crucial. Because if this issue is not solved, then United States might not be the leader of the free world. It's a serious issue. So anyone who wants to support would be able to support, but then it won't be immature advocacy. We will continue, the people who are stuck in the backlog, they will continue the advocacy, but at least there will be 50 people, 50 professional who would be like waking up, and then their job is to work on solving this issue. So that's that. Now who will be this 50 people, right? So all the 50 people we hire, they will bring different skills, but the first and foremost is that they all will be who believes in the mission, right? That they all who believe that this is something wrong and which needs to solve. So it's their job, but it's the job and the purpose they believe in, so they would be happy to work on this issue, right? And the one thing, it's good in the United States that if there is a one country where you can find a people who don't want to do a job for with a purpose, it's amazing. This is the country where you can find this kind of people, right? So that's our advantage. So then who are the 50 people we gonna hire, who will be working on solving this issue? So we talked about a lot of shortcomings. These people will be meeting our shortcomings, right? All the shortcomings we talked about. So the first, we're gonna hire 10 content creators. The 10 content creators will be a group of editors, animators, cinematographer, actor, presenter, and content writer. So it can vary the combination, but what we are focusing on to significantly raise the awareness of on this issue on all the platform, right? LinkedIn and Twitter, we have like a lot of good advocacy, but all the other platform, we are not that active, and we don't have time to be produce that amount of content, right? And one thing we need to do is that we need to produce consistent content and high quality content. This is like the issue of the people, high skill workers, right? So then that content needs to be at that category, and we need to meet people where they are. So a lot of the people who are affected by this issue, they don't even know that they are being discriminated, or sometimes they don't have a hope, so they are not on they are not on Twitter. They are like scrolling on Instagram, or maybe YouTube or somewhere. So that's where they are. So we need to create content for this platforms to bring them to advocacy, but also we need to make them aware that how things are done, how they are being discriminated. We also need to educate all these Americans that this is they are getting affected by that, right? So we need to have this team of a content which are producing content high quality, which can speak to different kind of people in different ways. So we will be like creating sketches, or we will be covering this same issue but with a different angles to reach the entire United States and probably the entire world, that they need to be aware on this issue, that there are people who are being discriminated in America based on their country of birth, and that's very serious issue which is impacting entire world, right? So we need to have this group of content creators, and then they will be ready to bring out the stories as well, that like let's say someone is going through an extreme hardship because of this issue. Right now we share the story, but they that story's production value is very less. But if we this kind of content creators there, that can make that story very appealing. So it could be about hardship, but it's like it will be like, let's say someone is very talented but they are being restricted by this backlog, then we can bring out that kind of people as well, that this is someone who is like highly qualified, but they are not able to contribute at full potential because of this kind of country gap, right? So we need a group of this 10 content creators who will be working full time to bring or highlight the issues, or how dangerous is this issue is, how unfair is this issue is, because out of sight out of mind, and we don't have bandwidth to be that consistent. But if we don't produce this daily content, then we are out of mind of people, and it feels like this issue doesn't exist, right? So we cannot afford that, so we're gonna hire 10 content creators. Then there will be like 10 PR persons who will be working alongside that, right? So 10 content creators are taking care of social media, but then there will be like this 10 PR persons who will be working alongside that the immigration issue is a lot of time emotional issue, more than like people support based on their emotional feelings. So they will be guiding them that what kind of content they need to create. But then that PR person will be engaging with mainstream media as well. We uh, taken care of the social media, but then they will be engaging with social traditional media as well. And that's like a lot of the things we are not able to communicate, right? That one person cannot like reach out to ABC, but this people are professional, they know how to engage different mainstream media, and that we gonna work with them. We have a team of people who can create the content, but then we need to distribute that content to mainstream media as well, right? So they will be like consistently engaging the American media, Indian media, because the Indian citizens are the one who are being exploited the most because of this kind of system. So they will be like engaging with Indian media, but also international media, because this is something should not exist anywhere in the world, right? So they will be consistently working with different media, but then we gonna collaborate. So they will be like working on doing the collaboration with different people as well, because like there are a lot of like small accounts. By small I mean like, let's say that someone is a travel content creator and they have 100,000 followers. They can work with collaborating, doing collaboration, right? So let's say that because we gonna produce this kind of high quality content on all the social media, our the viewership is gonna grow, and then there is a value exchange, right? That they are getting exposure, but they are this travel content creator is getting exposure, but then we are getting exposure to on their channel, right? With that kind of collaboration. And a lot of time what happens is that this kind of issues are, as I said, emotional issue. A lot of people don't understand most of the issue at very deep level. It just like someone they believes in supports the cause, then they supports the cause. So like let's say that this influencer, social media influencer, because they talked about then they supports the cause, they're not gonna think a lot, and they're gonna support that cause. And that's how you can say that it's that's how not should be, it shouldn't be. A lot of the people think should research very deep on that issue, all the issue, but people don't have time and people don't do it. It's just like someone they believe in, they think that who is smart, or someone they look up to, they are supporting that issue, they're gonna support this issue, right? So this PR persons will be collaborating with different content creators or influencers as well, but we will be collaborating with different universities as well, that all the major universities has like a Indian club running on that their campuses. So we're gonna reach and send our people to conduct workshop on how this is happening is wrong. But we will be also like trying to engage offices of these universities that are international students are coming from all over the world, but then they are getting discriminated, right? So we gonna engage. And the one thing it's very important that all the young people on these different universities, they are hungry to stand up for something, but sometimes they don't have anything to stand up for, and they are standing up for the wrong things because they want to stand up for something. So they need a cause, and there is this very important cause they should be standing up for, but they are not aware about that. So that's why they are like, this is not solved yet. So we're gonna go to their campuses and educate them that this is what something happening, and whether they are like directly impacted or going to get impacted or indirectly impacted. I think that we will be able to mobilize people on these campuses, and we will be able to bring them to our cause as well, right? So we're gonna engage universities, but then we're gonna engage with different employers as well, right? Right now people think that some short-sighted employers, they think that okay, if we don't solve this, then we gonna get more loyal employees, right? But then not all employers are there. So what we gonna do is that we're gonna collaborate with different employers, and then there will be list of employers on our website, that these are the employers or these are the universities who supports us, right? So then, like, let's say that someone who is looking for a job, they have a two job offer pretty similar, but then they want to go with the employer who supports our cause, right? Who stands up for what is right. But we also gonna create a content to address different employers, that the solving this is in their benefit in the long run, right? That it's good for America, but also it's something right to do. But also, like, let's say that people, they are not restricted by this temporary visa, then they have the freedom. Once they have a green card, you will be able to hire the best of the best people without think worrying about sponsoring or keep renewing their work visa, right? So a lot of these things employers are not thinking in long term, not all of them, but if they are thinking in the short term, we're going to change that, and we're going to try to engage with different employers. We're going to engage with different government offices, not just the Congress, but also like the White House. This 10 PER persons are going to try to engage different government organization, Indian embassy, that why they are not doing something when their citizens are exploited like this, right? And I have done an entire episode why government offices should do something about that. So but this is something we don't have time to engage for a full time, but this 10 people, it's their job to engage, but also their job is to plan events, this PR events, to highlight or bring this issue mainstream, make this issue mainstream, right? So one talking about what kind of events. So I had one event in mind, which because of the lack of time and how much energy it's required to plan an event, I haven't been able to implement. But just to give you an example, that I had this idea of like creating a PR event where we do a car wash by all the people who are stuck in the green card backlog from the medical field, right? So they come up to do the car wash in their uniforms, which they wear in the hospital. So we are doing the car wash, but then the people are stopping for the free car wash, and we have chance to spread this awareness to them, that why these doctors and nurses are doing this car wash, and we can explain them that even these people who are saving lives, they are being restricted and put in this unnecessary, all this kind of stress just based on their country of birth. So we should be able to create that event, because this people will be organizing, doing the most of the work of organizing this kind of events, right? So, and then we have also this content creation team who is ready to produce that content for everyone to see, for the world to see, right? So we would be able to create much more events because all the administrative work is done by these people who are hired. We just have to show up to these events whenever we do, right? So that will be just a highlight of 10 PR persons who would be working. Now, who next we're gonna hire 15 advocates. The advocates, uh, before I talk about what they're gonna do, I'm gonna let me say that what the bill they're gonna advocate for. So this bill, this the bill they're gonna advocate for, it's gonna be very simple one page bill, mainly addressing two things. Is that first is that they need to remove the country cap on the employment based category, because the country of birth is not a skills, and not all the country produces that. The workers United States has shortage of, not all the country produces equally, right? So remove the country cap on the employment based category, but also allow all the people and their dependents to file a change of status who have approved immigration petition and who are already living and working in the United States at the time of bill is passed. So then we don't have this uh, argument that it's going to create unnecessary backlog for the other countries, right? So we remove what is unfair and we make the system from fair from day one. uh, what happens is that why this bill is that because uh, hold on. Yeah, so this bill we're gonna introduce it independently, like as a single bill, but also we're gonna try to include this bill in the other bills which every year they pass it, which I'm gonna talk in a second. But yeah, this is we are, like, let's say that a lot of the people who are stuck in the backlog, some people are waiting since 2012 to receive their green card. So we are not going to ask them the like affirmative actions, right? That because we have been wrong for so long, give us something more. Like, it's not like give us like some money. So we are not asking for anything additional, that just give us citizenship directly because we have been wrong for so long. What we are just asking, that just give us what we have been approved for already, which we should have received long time ago. If this discrimination or something which is wrong, it's not there, so we just gonna ask for that. And if you think about it, that's not very difficult because it's only a million people stuck in this backlog. Million people is not a big number. And also all these people who are stuck, they are already in the United States, they already have the job. So there is no argument why that cannot be done easily. So that's that we're gonna ask for that solve this once for all. And all the other issues not our battle, right? If they want to modernize H1B, like let's say remove lottery and do something else, that's none of those things is our battle. They can, once this is fixed, if they want to increase the immigration, if they want to decrease the immigration, it's their whatever they want to do. That's not our battle, but our primary focus is that we have to pass this bill, get this bill to the finish line, that remove the country cap, and when they do it, like clear all the existing employment based backlog. So for that, we will have 15 advocates uh, who are experienced, right? Sometimes the people we will be hiring will be like who has already worked in the member of the Congress offices. There are a lot of interns who go there, but also there are people who work in this kind of offices, but then the Congress member who they were working for, it's no longer in the office for whatever reason, right? So we will hire people who are very experienced on doing this things, which they also have insider information, right? That They know that, let's say, our office, we were never gonna agree to support whatever bill, but this is something what they did which help us to change our minds. So then this 15 people who are experienced, they are not immature, they are professional, it's their job, it's something they have studied, and they have the skills to get it done. They will be like their entire focus, 15 people, their job is to live outside of the, this is just kind of example, but it's like they are living outside of the member of the Congress house. They are like consistently advocating for this bill. Then they, what they are doing is that, like, let's say that some member of the Congress, they are hesitant, they will bring us that why they are hesitant, and then we have the team of this PR people, we have the content creation team. They will be able to create content, they will be able to create things which can address their hesitation, that what is their hesitation in supporting this bill. So we have this, like, all the people who are working in sync or complementing each other. These advocates are bringing us information that what is the hesitation from the member of the Congress in passing this bill, and we are creating the content, we are creating events to support that. And let's say that some member of the Congress from particular state is hesitant, then we can address that as well accordingly, right? So this will be like 15 people, it's their job is to advocate for this bill. They are experienced, introduce the bill, but also not just introduce this bill, advocate for this bill, but there are some bills in each Congress, they need to pass those bills. Like these are just an example, I'm not sure that's the exact name, but like spending bill, defense bill, these are the bill which passes every year in the, not every year, or like in every Congress they need to pass this bill. What happens is that this bills kind of like becomes jumbo bill, so they are not just like focused on one thing. It's like it has all kind of things in those kind of bills. Will our focus would be to like include this one page bill in that kind of bills, and we should be with all the efforts, we should be able to find the member of the Congress who will be very much want to support us, that this thing, no matter what, it needs to stay in this kind of bill. They will be like very focused because this is very crucial, and then all the efforts we are going to do, they will be able to keep that bill in that this kind of jumbo bill, right? So that's the thing they will be doing. Like 15 advocates, their job is, as it sounds like, they will be advocating, right? And that's the bill. Okay, then 5 will be researchers, right? That we want to produce the content, but then we need to do more research. That there are like a lot of the research happening in many different universities are done by this kind of, relies on this kind of immigrants, but a lot of the data we don't even have it, right? So the 5 researchers job is to research a lot on many different topics which can help us. And also this content is good, but then sometimes in the academia they want papers, right? So if we have this 5 researchers who are publishing papers, who are supporting our cause, that okay, this is the issue, and if we solve it, this is going to help the United States in this way, then those papers can be cited in many different research related things, or like a lot of the member of the Congress, they can use that this is the research is thorough, that this is something wrong. They can like do research on all kind of things, that this was something like this was wrong in the past, but how this is solved, right? So we will have the 5 researchers, PhD people who are working full time, doing different kind of research on and publishing papers and thinking about how we can come up to how it can help to solve this issue. Next, then will be 5 will be lawyers, right? And I'm not sure we will have 5 lawyers in house, or we will be like spending that money to hire the law firm. But at least we need to have a couple of in-house lawyers, because the things we are going to do, it's very radical or like very bold, right? So we need to do it properly, so we don't run into legal situations. But also, a lot of people has come up to me during this time for like last 1.5 year, that Anuj, we need to get a lawyers and we need to sue them, right? And there are a lot of people also talks that we don't have a the legislation is only our option, right? But we don't know, like a lot of the court cases we have not tried it. So the job of these lawyers is to come up that is there something where we can create a case. And when we create, or like let's say if we file a lawsuit, two things happens. One thing, either we win, great. Even if we don't win, then we have this peace of mind that okay, this is something we tried and that's not an option. So that we get. But also then that kind of lawsuit can help us to get the PR, the attention this needs. At a lot of the time, the judges, they will say that okay, this is something law wise we cannot do something, but this law shouldn't be there, right? So they can, that all those things can put a pressure on the lawmakers to change this law, which is highly unfair, right? But also then this legal team will be there if to defend any person, right? That some people, like let's say they run into this kind of like situation negative, which I haven't heard yet, but like let's say because they are doing advocacy, or for whatever reason they come, they have been treated unfairly, their entry was denied or something in the United States, then we have a legal team to defend that, right? So the 5 lawyers or or a law firm we hire, right? But at least we will have one lawyer who is coordinating all these things, that who is coordinating the affairs of the organizations, but also like exploring all these kind of options. So the budget of the 5 lawyers is dedicated on the legal matters, and the last 5 would be like freelance, admin cost, accountant, fundraisers, right? So the freelancers will be like sometimes we will have a need to do some kind of work, that's not something we need full time, someone doing full time, but then we will have some admin cost. Ideally, if the team grows, we will need an office or a studio where they are like producing all this kind of content, or like people are gathering to get the things done, right? So we might have admin cost, and we might need at least one accountant and like a couple of people who are doing fundraising as well, right? That the majority of the cost we will be self-funding by this $10 a month. But then they will be like they can do fundraisers for doing more things, right? That they are fundraisers is job. A lot of people wants to support this cause, so they and donate to this cause, and they will be working on raising the fund, right? So that's the 50 people who will be working. The number is not set in the stones. We, depending on needs, we might increase some people, we might decrease some people, but the 50 people is the goal. uh, Other than the 50 people, because we have this organizations which is highly active, some other things we would be able to do is that we would be able to hire interns as well, right? That a lot of the people are looking for internship, and they are willing to work for uh, uh, this kind of causes, right? So we will be able to hire a lot of interns who wants to come and help us out. uh, Another thing, like a lot of these are just some examples, but a lot of people, you might have seen this as well on Twitter if you're active, that okay, Anuj, we need to hire a hoarding outside of the consulates in India to warn people. Which is good, but like let's say that whenever I hear this kind of suggestion, I was like okay, like let's say someone has already gone for a visa interview and they're not going to go back home after seeing the hoarding, right? uh, so if we have this kind of active thing, then it's not doesn't hurt to try out that thing, because again, like then if we have this thing going on, and then we have a hoarding, then students or whoever is students or workers who are coming, they have option. They are already know about this, and then they, okay, like we need to support this organization who is like trying to make things fair, right? So then they have things to fall back. We have to, if we want to run ads, then we will have that option to run. And one thing I forget to mention, that because we are now have a content creation team which is active on all the social media, when the social media followers grows, then we can receive the ad revenues. The organization receives that ad revenue. A lot of people wants to advertise something on that channels, right? If they are good, then we receive that income. So they will be like, the organization will be receiving some income which they will be able to utilize for planning other things, planning more activity, planning like contributing back on how we can bring the solution faster. So we will have that income. But then let's say that we want to run some kind of ad, even if uh, let's say we want to run, this is insane, but like let's say we want to run an ad on a Super Bowl. It costs maybe, I guess, 5 million, but it's still 1 million people are stuck. Everyone has to contribute $5. So if we have this uh, organized thing going on, then there is like a lot of the things which seems impossible right now, we will be able to achieve it. We will be able to organize much more events, because like let's say uh, when I organized a march in Austin on 2nd March, I came to know that there are like a lot of things needs to be done. You need to market it, you need to create a marketing material, but also you need to get the permit from a lot of the different things, and you need to get the police protection. And that is a lot of kind of admin works which we don't have to do anymore. What happens is that, this is to give you an analogy, is that like let's say when there is some famous actor, they don't are going to different ad agency, and they want to talk, they are talking to them that, hey, I want to do the ad, and how much it's going to cost. They have a manager who are doing most of the work for them. They are looking for this different companies who wants to sponsor them, and coming up the only very few things they have to do. So similarly, that's gonna happen for us as well, that we are outsourcing all the admin works. Like let's say that if we want to meet a member of the Congress, then we won't have to organize that meeting. This like these people should be able to get that meeting for us, and all we have to do is that we just have to show up. So we are getting rid of all this admin work, lot of the organization work, right, that to planning the event and that kind of stuff. So that, so we will be able to do more, and for we still are advocates, right? So the people who are working professional, they are advocates, but also it's not like we need to rest and our job is done. They're gonna work where we still need to call and do all that kind of stuff. But sometimes, like let's say for 2 months we are not active, but still our money is working for, so someone is working full time. So we are never in this kind of a gap where no one is doing anything to bring the solution to our issues. So the momentum we don't lose. So it's not like I'm saying that, okay, we just need to outsource all these things and then we can just like go to sleep and wake up when the issue is resolved, right? But it's something we are doing to make sure that there is a no gap in our advocacy. So that will be what the 50 people will be doing. Now you are like, Anuj, I'm fired up. What we can do, how we can do, how we can mobilize this plan, how we can execute this plan, right? So one thing I have done is that I have created a GoFundMe for the Kickstarter fund. This is not a $10 thing because we are people active. This is something we need to do right now, that if there is a Kickstarter fund, that fund will be utilized to for what? So to consult lawyer and social sector firms to figure out the structure of the organization. That do we want to create a 501c3, or do we want to create a 501c4, or both, or where to register? If you don't know the difference, then the difference is, and don't quote me on this, I'm not an expert on that, but just to give you the glimpse, that 501c3 is an organization, or it's like a non-profit organizations, but all the donation you make to them are tax deductible. So uh, give you the popular example, Improve the Dream is 501c3. Then 501c4 is non-profit as well, but whatever donation you make to them are not tax deductible, but then they have less restriction. Give you an example, Immigration Voice is 501c4. So then when there is organization is 501c4, then they don't have a limitation on how much they can spend on lobbying. Also, they don't have restriction on, they can, like, I guess they can support any particular candidate for the Congress if they want to. It's not something we want to do, but it's still like we need to figure it out, that what would be the ideal organization. Or we can have a structure of both. If you know that Indian American Impact, they have both branch, they have 501c3 and they have 501c4 as well. So this is, we need to consult them, and then since we're gonna recruit the people, we need to put a plan in place which protects the organization. And like, this is a lot of people has recommended me to start an organization a long time ago, but then I say that, okay, we have a lot of restrictions, but then they are like, oh, someone from a kid from India can start a non-profit. And I was like, okay, but no one is going to go after that kid, but we need to do it in the right way, right? Because if this organization becomes big, which I think it will, then some people who are in favor of keeping this kind of discrimination, they can come after us as well, right? So we need to do things right way, and this is kind of our, like, what we call it, our, how tall of the building you can make depends on how strong is your foundation. So this is our gonna be our foundation, and the stronger the foundation we have, we will be able to do more things. So we need to consult them and figure out the right kind of structure for this organization. And this Kickstarter fund will be used for legal and registration fee of the organizations. That there is some fees, registration fee you need to pay, but also you need to pay the people who are filing these forms for you or coming up with the structure. Also, we will need a platform or a website where people can sign up to do these things. And that platform, we just not gonna do like a whatever, like, this is going to be a platform or a website which represent that this is the highest, there are a lot of immigration issues, but these are like the organization representing this, like, some of the most skilled people in the United States. So it's gonna be, we're not gonna go crazy with the spending, but we're not gonna cut corners as well, right? So this is gonna be we want to create a website which is very clean, very neat, and people, when they come, they know exactly what to do, how to take action, or how to support our organization. And we need to make initial some marketing content also to bring people to sign up for these things, right? So all these things, it's not something done overnight. This takes 3 months of time if you want to start. Average time is 3 months if you want to put an organization's at least 501c3 or 501c4 requires 3 months. So we're gonna take our time. We're not gonna rush. The reason I started early, it's because we have this going on, so we are ready sooner. But it's like, let's say we are ready for the next Congress. If nothing happens, I'm not saying that people should start advocating right now. Keep advocating for the bills which are already in the Congress, but if they don't get passed in this Congress, then we are ready fully for the next Congress. So this is going to take a 3 months of time for the platform running, and then we have the have people get on board, right, to support us. That 50,000 people are not gonna overnight gonna start supporting us, but it will be slow, but we will be creating a marketing material to bring those people on board. And as people are coming on board, we will start hiring more and more people. So my goal, I think, is to have this organization running in the 3 months, but then we will start working or like hiring people as soon as we have this platform and organizations ready. And the sooner people get on board, then the sooner we will be able to get things going, right? And one thing I wanted to do, that this is something uh, I don't have to do, right? That I am single. If I wanted a green card, I have many options. Also, if I at this point, all the hardship I needed to go, I have already done it. That if I had a green card 10 years ago, would have to go through much less hardships. But at this point, all the hardship, majority of the ones I had to go, already been through. But this is I have done it for already for one major year, where I have spent my own money and my own energy on these things, because this is something I feel that it's very important. We need to do so. That's why I done it. I aged a lot in that 1 year than any person should have aged in that 1 year, right? But still, then I was thinking that should I do it or not. But then, like, the your greatest strength comes from the greatest pain you have been through, and we all been through this. So now it's not something we need to do, but this is we get to do. It's that this kind of discrimination, it shouldn't be there, but it's there. So now we have this opportunity, because we've been through, we are familiar with this. We might need to commit a little more to get these things going. And that's why when I started this kick fund, uh, uh, I contributed my $500 first, because I want to put my money where my mouth is. I have spent insane amount of money when I did my campaign of traveling to all the 50 states. But still, I want to contribute. Start with my contribution. That okay, this is something I want to commit. If I don't do this, my life would be much simpler and comfortable. But I understand that if I don't do it, I would regret this, that this is something I could have done it, but I didn't. So this is not something I need to do, but this is something I get to do. And if you have that mindset, if you want to contribute to the Kickstarter fund, there is a link in the description. I can post it here as well. In the chat, that this is the fund where you can comment and not comment, donate. And don't donate something which is like you're gonna miss a meal, or like you have a education fund from your kids, you have to pull the money out of that. Don't donate like that. But if you have money which you can comfortably donate to fight this kind of discrimination, which you would be happy to, you can contribute to that, and have these things going sooner, right? That I'm going to continue working on raising this money and getting this form registered and all those things. Going to continue working that. But it would be like very motivating if we cross this goal. It would be motivating, but also it would be nice to make the people who are in favor of keeping this kind of discrimination, it will make them very uncomfortable. So it would be like good to see, right? So if you could comfortably, if you want to support, kickstart this mission to have this thing going, please contribute to it. I'm going to continue working on it, or reaching out to different people to have this things going, right? Another thing I would need from you is that if you have a suggestion or recommendations, that let's say that if you already know a lawyer or an organization who can help us out to get this thing going faster, then please reach out to me. I think the easiest way to reach out to me is, I guess you can message me on Twitter. My inbox is open. I pretty much check all my messages. So reach out to me if you have any suggestions, if you have any recommendations. Reach out to me on Twitter. There is a Telegram group I have created as well. The link of that is in the description as well. That if you would like to join this Telegram group, please join it. Uh, Also share this video with as many people as you can. So the one thing we are working on is to activating or make more people active. Right now there are very few of people who are active, but we are lowering that bar very significantly, that how they can support this. So the bar is lower. But the goal is to unite more people and have more people active, and the sooner we do, the better it is. So send your suggestion, send your recommendations, share this with more people, and hopefully we can have this thing going pretty soon. I will be working very hard with this. uh, if you after watch this, if you have any questions, I'm gonna do Q&A hopefully in this coming week. So if you have any questions uh, on any things, and I bet that this is, I was trying to lay it out as much as I can, but then there are some things I have missed it probably. So I'm gonna cover in the next session, that I'm gonna cover if I have missed anything, but also I'm gonna answer Q&A if you have questions on Q&A. Right, so just to see the comment before. Yeah, so best is join Immigration Voice and donate and participate. There is a very basic level advocacy and trying stuff. Iran has hard in the right lesson. Okay, yeah, we have heard this, all these things, but we are trying to do something different, and it's something I wish that the organizations which were active would have done it right, and this would have solved earlier, so we wouldn't have to do it. I didn't. I would have. There is a lot more fun things I can do today than like doing this on preparing this presentation. It's a Sunday. I'm single. I have like lots of options to do more fun things than doing this, or like traveling to all the 50 states. Right? This is we are doing this because there is a need for that. It's not like something we don't have anything better to do, because that's why we are doing, right? So I'm gonna commit to this like before. It's not something I wake up yesterday and came up with this plan. This is the plan I have shared with my friends even before I have done with the 50 states, that I know that something like this needs to be done. But then I have contemplated a lot, that do I need to commit to this plan, but also I wanted to give this some other things who are advocating. While I was traveling to all the 50 states, they came up with the bill, so I wanted to give them time as well, that get that bill passed. But if you see some of the bills, they are stuck. Like the time it was introduced long time ago, we haven't able to get a lot of co-sponsor, but we also not hearing from the people who are introducing this bill, right? So and I'm still encouraging all the people that okay, get this, keep advocating for those things. This thing will take time to get going. So give your best shot, and if the bill pass, I would be more than happy. And I'm also still like it's not like I have been stopped advocating for these things, right? But I know what is coming. I know what is coming in the next government. Either way it can go. We need to be prepared, right? So that's why I'm doing this. If you have any questions, suggestions, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, all the people who joined live, that's very encouraging, and I always thank you, because it's like you had a lot of options, right? There are like a lot of good things on Netflix, but then you took the time out and watched this presentation. That you did something to bring the solution faster. You are supporting with your time, and that's the something which cannot come back, right? That money you can always make more, but the time you never uh, get back. So I appreciated it a lot, that giving your time to bring the solution to this issue. And I hope that more and more people become active and we get this solution faster. Thanks everyone for joining, and I will talk to you soon with the Q&A session. Thanks and take care.